The universally accepted ritual of "how are you" might just be humanity's most collectively inefficient and psychologically draining social invention, a conversational black hole designed to absorb time without yielding a single photon of genuine connection. This isn't just an observation, it's a demonstrable social pathology, a script we're all forced to follow, meticulously exchanging empty pleasantries while our minds scream for an exit. If you're tired of these conversational black holes, consider subscribing to decode more of life's awkward algorithms. We've been conditioned to believe that this superficial preamble is a necessary rite of passage, a polite buffer before any true interaction can commence.
But the truth is, small talk is less a bridge and more a meticulously constructed barrier, an intricate dance of social avoidance that protects us from perceived threats, while simultaneously starving us of authentic engagement. Think of the sheer volume of wasted words, the thousands of hours collectively invested in navigating these conversational dead zones, only to emerge feeling more isolated than before. This isn't just about awkwardness, it's about the erosion of trust, the missed opportunities for collaboration, and the subtle but persistent feeling of being unseen.
The core mystery isn't why we avoid deeper connection, but why we insist on such a demonstrably failed mechanism for initiating it, and how it's even conceivable to bypass centuries of social programming to connect instantly. Our very social fabric often feels woven from these flimsy threads, leading to a pervasive sense of loneliness, even in crowded rooms, a direct consequence of mistaking politeness for connection. This societal adherence to the superficial isn't benign. It silently perpetuates a culture of emotional distance, preventing the very bonds humans instinctively crave. The economic impact alone, from failed networking to disengaged teams, is astronomical. Yet we persist. The insidious grip of small talk isn't merely a matter of social etiquette. It's deeply rooted in our primal psychology, a legacy of ancient threat assessment mechanisms masquerading as modern civility. Evolutionary psychologists argue that these ritualistic exchanges served as low-stakes social grooming, a non-threatening way for early humans to establish baseline safety with a stranger before committing to any deeper interaction. It was a rapid, if rudimentary, way to signal, "I am not an immediate danger," and the predictability of the script offered a comforting illusion of control. The amygdala, that ancient alarm bell in our brains, is constantly scanning for threats, and deviation from established social norms can trigger a subtle, unconscious fear response. So while our conscious minds yearn for depth, our subconscious prioritizes safety, often defaulting to the well-worn paths of polite yet empty conversation. This creates a profound paradox. Humans are hardwired for belonging and connection, possessing complex mirror neuron systems that allow for profound empathy. Yet we are simultaneously equipped with deeply ingrained defense mechanisms that push intimacy away. The comfort of the predictable, even if empty script, trumps the anxiety of the unknown, the fear of vulnerability, or the dreaded possibility of social rejection. This isn't just about awkwardness. It's about a fundamental tension between our desire for genuine connection and our inherent drive for self-preservation. We cling to small talk not because it works, but because it feels safer than the alternative. A carefully constructed facade that shields us from the perceived perils of authentic revelation, even as it suffocates our genuine need for deep resonance. True connection, it turns out, is less about following a script and more about strategic pattern interruption, about subtly breaching the conventional defenses that small talk diligently erects. The neurological basis for rapid rapport isn't politeness, it's shared vulnerability and genuine curiosity, triggering the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This isn't a mystical process, it's a predictable neurochemical response to perceiving another person as safe and genuinely interested, someone who sees beyond the superficial performance.
Think of the Ben Franklin effect, where asking someone for a small favor paradoxically increases their liking for you, because their brain rationalizes their action by concluding they must like you to have helped you. This principle extends to conversation. When you invite someone to share something slightly beyond the expected, something that requires a minimal, calibrated degree of vulnerability, their brain begins to construct a narrative of shared trust. The trick lies in the calibrated intrusion, not aggressive interrogation, but a gentle nudge past the weather and weekend plans. It means leaning into curiosity about their internal world, their values, their challenges, rather than just their external circumstances.
This requires a subtle mastery of asking questions that are open-ended, slightly personal without being intrusive, and demonstrating deep, active listening that reflects understanding, not just waiting for your turn to speak. The human brain craves novelty and genuine engagement. It quickly tunes out the monotonous drone of predictable pleasantries. By offering a different kind of conversational input, you're not just being unique, you're speaking to a deeper cognitive need for meaning and genuine interaction, bypassing the superficial social programming and engaging the more profound systems responsible for empathy and connection. So, how does one actually wield this knowledge, transforming the theoretical into actionable, instant connection? It begins with an intentional shift from the transactional to the relational, deploying an arsenal of conversational tools designed to bypass the small talk filter. First, ditch the "how are you?" Instead, try a pattern interrupt question that is slightly unexpected but universally relatable. What's the most interesting thing that's happened to you today, no matter how small? Or what's a small win you're celebrating this week? This immediately signals you're not interested in the stock answer. Second, master strategic vulnerability. Offer a minor, relatable personal detail early in the conversation. Not a trauma dump, but something like, "I nearly spilled coffee all over myself this morning. It's already one of those Mondays." Or, "I'm strangely energized by this absurdly early meeting." This signals openness and gives the other person permission to be real too. Third, employ the challenge-based opener. Observe something slightly unusual or challenging in the environment and comment on it, inviting a shared perspective. This cue is epic, isn't it? Feels like a quest. This creates instant low-stakes shared experience. Fourth, practice reflective listening. Instead of simply acknowledging, paraphrase and validate their feeling or point. "It sounds like you found that really frustrating." Or, "So the key takeaway for you was X, right?" This shows you're actually hearing them. Finally, cultivate adjacent possible questioning. If they mention an interest, don't just ask about that interest. Ask about what led them to it, or what tangential skills or insights it provides. This uncovers deeper values and potential common ground, turning a superficial data point into a gateway to shared passion. These aren't tricks. They are calibrated acts of social courage, offering a path to deeper engagement. The true payoff of mastering these techniques isn't merely more efficient social interactions. It's a profound, almost alchemical transformation of your entire relational landscape. The irony, of course, is that by actively skipping the polite, prescribed pleasantries, you're not being rude or dismissive. You're performing a radical act of authentic human connection, a courageous offer of genuine presence in a world drowning in performative politeness. This isn't about manipulating people. It's about inviting them to drop their own social masks, creating a space where real understanding can flourish. The sustained benefits ripple through every facet of life. Richer personal relationships grounded in mutual trust, professional networks built on genuine rapport instead of transactional exchanges, and a pervasive sense of belonging that combats the quiet epidemic of loneliness. The core mystery established initially, how to bypass the dreadful small talk, resolves itself into a profound understanding. True instant connection is not a magic trick, but a deliberate ethical choice to engage with another person's humanity directly. It's a cognitive reframe, moving from the belief that discomfort with depth is a social faux pas to recognizing it as an unfortunate societal conditioning that we have the power to consciously unlearn. The profound satisfaction of moving from transactional, superficial interactions to truly transformational ones, where ideas are exchanged and emotions are shared, isn't just a psychological reward. It's a reassertion of our fundamental need for meaningful human contact, making every interaction a deliberate act of mutual respect and a testament to the quiet power of authentic presence.